Hello. Well, drop my. I need to get a shelf. That's what I'm gonna do. But anyway, it's snowing here in Portland, which it never does apparently. But this is not a vlog, so let's talk about this Cross Justice, which this book is great. I just skipped to the chase. This is the first book that I thought was really awesome. Since I started this November 1st, I've liked basically pretty much every book. But this book is great. This is James Patterson. It was a #1 best-selling fiction December 13th. And you guys should go out and get this. You don't have to have ever read anything else that he's done, because I hadn't, and it was really cool. So we'll start with that. The main character is Alex Cross. I will say this is another crime-solving book, which if you've watched the last few reviews I've done, I've been complaining, always something to complain about. I've been complaining about how a lot of the bestsellers are about crimes and detectives and lawyers, and this one, even after all of those, still I thought was awesome. James Patterson apparently is one of the most successful authors in the world. This says that he's sold more than 300 million books, and he's had more #1 bestsellers than any other author. That's a lot. So this is the best-sellingest author of them all. Alex Cross is, I want to say, psychologist. He was in the FBI. He's a detective, and in this book, he is, what do you want? Attention. So in this book, he's going home, which is in North Carolina. I guess he lives in DC, really, Washington, DC, but going home to his childhood home. That's what it is. I get the feeling it was like in Appalachia or something, Appalachia. I even lived in Appalachia for a little while one time, and I can't figure out which one it is. I forgot. I should look it up and stop being lazy about whatever. But anyway, so he goes to this little town, in a rural town. Man, there's just so much that happens when he's there. I just don't want to spoil anything for you, but there's definitely well, in the beginning, his cousin is accused of this really gruesome rape, torture, murder. Really horrific. His cousin was a gym teacher and allegedly brought this boy out to a quarry and just totally ugh. He really allegedly fucked him up. So, and murdered him. Okay, something that was interesting to me about this book is that Alex Cross is a black guy. And this is a white guy. So, this guy is getting, capturing, I think, effectively, whereas the last author I did, Janet, God bless her, Ivanovich, at least in my opinion, didn't come across as effective. I know these are different characters and different people, and everybody acts different, from Busta Rhymes to Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah. Everybody has their own distinct personalities, but I felt that this was very believable. And I bring up race because I don't know why it's so surprising to me, but I just thought it was really amazing that one of the most successful novelists, and also because this is a pretty famous character in literature, frankly, at this point, in contemporary literature, and I didn't really know anything about him. That was something when I got my English degree that bothered me about the University of Cincinnati, where I got my bachelor's in English. They did have contemporary American literature classes, but we did not read books that people actually buy and read. In other words, and it's quite common, and this is one of the reasons I'm doing this whole project with bestsellers, we were not educated, and people in the literary academic world are not educated about what actually makes money, which is, to me, ironic and pathetic. I honestly think we should be studying books like Harry Potter, really analyzing them. What makes this book so good that people love it all around the world? And I would challenge a contemporary author or writer, or if I can get the right words out, I would challenge a contemporary professor, a contemporary lit professor, to teach something like this. Now, this is not the Mona Lisa of books or whatever, to use very generic terms here, but it's a really good novel, and just an example. I don't think it's the best book in the world or anything like that, but you know, it's just I think helpful and interesting to study why are some books so successful and so popular, and some books are not. So anyway, you know, and there's definitely, you need to read things like Beowulf and you know, War and Peace and all the classics. I mean, those are vital to even understanding contemporary literature. But I am digressing a whole lot. And let's get back to the book, Cross Justice. You know, it started off a little bit slow, which is fine because, you know, I don't think you realize, you're not supposed to realize just how crazy everything is, even though right away you know about his cousin and the murder and things like that. You kind of like get a feel for the town and his family, and I think anybody who is familiar with Alex Cross, the character, should read this book. Like, if you skip some in the series, and I say this having not read a single other one, both this is a testament as to how good I thought that this story was in its own right, but also what I can tell just from reading this one. Like, the revelations in this book about the character are like, oh my God. They have to do with his mother, his father, his family, grandma, grandpa, you know, his hometown, where he comes from. Just, to me, this is probably one of the most important books in the series, and I haven't read any of them. You know, I would be interested to get some comments about that from people who've read other books in the series and this one. But just the things that he learns about his own family, and that has a lot to do with the psychological interiority, the psychology of the character. You know, what was their upbringing? I mean, it's true of just people in general. Man, I wish I could tell you some more stuff, but I'm going to shy away from giving any plot details and just encourage you guys to all go out and find Cross Justice. Bring it back to the top of the bestseller list, because it was only on top for that 1 week at December 13th. I want to talk about one of the other interesting characters in the book, Coco. So Coco is, this is not a spoiler because it's like within the first 10 of what, 400, 500 pages, 400 pages-ish, it's revealed the first 10 pages that Coco is the, I was going to say alter ego of Mise. And this is where I'm not being transphobic. I hope you understand that. I have had, you know, all kinds of drag queen friends, transgendered friends, things like that. I've been friends with a hermaphrodite. You know, I am part of the LGBT community, blah, 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 blah. So, but I might use the wrong words here, which is ignorant on my part, but, and also, I also think it's not quite clear. Like, it seems that maybe Mise actually has a split personality and isn't identifying as this woman, Coco. And I don't know, it's confusing. You'd have to, I'm not an expert with that, you know, not, whatever. But, so Coco, and there's some interesting psychology behind this, but this is the other character that is in the book, besides Alex Cross, that the narrative really focuses on. So every few chapters, the story switches to Mise Coco, who lives in West Palm Beach, which the book tells you is a really rich place, but I've been to West Palm Beach and it is incredibly wealthy. You know, I mean, like, we're talking can put Beverly Hills to shame, kind of. You know, I think it goes back and forth. I forget what county it is outside of LA or Santa Barbara. Anyway, I don't know, but people from Manhattan basically winter in West Palm Beach. And if you ever have felt like driving over an hour and seeing nothing but mansions along the Atlantic Ocean, I mean, it's kind of jaw-dropping how wealthy this place is. So go have a cocktail at the Breakers. That's what I did. But anyway, so Coco's Mize has an art store there, and Coco is murdering people, murdering wealthy socialites from West Palm, and it's interesting. I was impressed with, in the same way that I'm assuming James Patterson is a straight Caucasian guy, whatever, European American, but you know, I think he inhabits the Alex Cross character maybe more comfortably than he does Mize Coco. I don't know, because it's hard to say. I mean, I thought that he did a good job. Okay, sometimes I wondered, like, is it too stereotypical? Is it perfect? You know, because the character really, it seemed like he must have researched the drag community, you know, the drag queens, and like, it just reminds me so much of drag queens I've seen perform. Just the whole attitude. It felt very real. And then I wasn't sure, you know, like I guess I was a little more sensitive to it. Not that I am transgender or into drag or whatever, but you know, I guess I was concerned, like, is he getting this right? I don't know. But anyway, so the character is murdering people. They're a murderer. But it was a cool character. And that, I would say, there was a weakness, I thought, with this side story for Cross Justice. And it was that whole thing, like, you wonder, like, how does this possibly tie into what's happening in North Carolina? They're totally different worlds that they're discussing. And you know, it's kind of nice too, because like the North Carolina stuff, especially in the beginning, you know, it's building up a lot until you get to the amazing 5th part of the book. Like, there's a bajillion chapters in the book, but there's like 5 big parts. And part 5, the justice section, is mind-blowing. The end is so freaking, like, the way that the courtroom drama goes down is pretty good. But the end of the book, and oh my goodness, like, you would have to read the book to understand what I'm talking about. But I'm just trying to imagine what people who've read all the books in this series would think, because, wow, the stuff that happens, I just remember, like, my jaw was, like, you know, dropped, like, oh my god, did that just happen? Did this just happen? Did that just happen? And it's like, boom, 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 like, all this stuff in a row that's revealed, and it's like, it's awesome. I mean, that's what really, I mean, the book gets like more and more and more interesting, and then it's just like, boom, like, this is crazy, like, at the very end, dramatically speaking. So, yeah, so the Coco thing, like I was saying, that side story, you know, it comes in and out of the plot, and, what was I gonna say? You distracted me. Yeah. Yes, you're so cute. You're so cute. What was I talking about? Coco, the murderer in Palm Beach? Yeah. So Coco, I guess the thing is that whole side story, it does come into the main story at some point. The way that it ties in I was not expecting it to tie in that way. And it works for me, but I don't want to say barely, because I don't want you to think that this is a weak book, whatever, but I would say that would be a less great part to me. It was just good, but just, it felt like there were some coincidences almost, and, well, there are definitely coincidences, but, see, what use is it to hear me talk about the vagaries of the plot that you haven't read? I mean, I guess this is a service to people who haven't read it and people who have, if you know what I'm talking about. There's just, the way that story is brought into the main narrative, I thought it could have been better, more relevant somehow. I don't know. It just seemed like I imagine, like, is this what happens in all of Patterson's books? There are a lot of them, like, is there a main story and then some side story, and then you wonder how does it come together, and then it does. You know, I mean, that's a common storytelling device anyway. So, but that would be my only complaint, and I still liked it. I still thought it was interesting. So, Cross Justice by James Patterson. Yeah, I mean, if I'm still doing this in a year, which, why not? I'll be so happy if he comes out with another book that is as good as this, and I'm actually intrigued to read more of this series for real. So, yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, yep.